Hi guys, and welcome to my vlog. I'm very excited to be using this platform to talk about relationships, especially from the single woman perspective. I have a wealth of experience that I would love to share with you. It's something I've been thinking about for a very, very long time, and I'm excited to be putting out my very first video. Now, I will put it out there right off the bat. I am not a relationship expert. Neither am I a therapist or a psychologist. I've never studied any of these subjects in university, but I just happen to have been through a lot. And I think it's so much, there's so much we can learn from each other. And it's always good to see things from someone else's perspective. So I'll be sharing quite a lot about my own experiences, and in some cases I'll also be sharing about the experience of a woman that I know. So before I start rambling, let's get right into it. My first topic is being trapped, because this is something that I have personally been through. I was trapped in a relationship for quite some time, and I found it very difficult to get out of that relationship. I found it difficult to get out of the situation, and hence the term being trapped. You know, it's basically a situation where you are with this person, and for reasons, and it can be anything. It could be the person is financially manipulating you, financially controlling you, emotionally controlling you. They could be, physically mistreating you. Whatever the case may be, if you find yourself in a situation that this relationship is not working, it's not for you, and you can't get out, you're most likely trapped in that relationship because of the circumstances that led to that situation. So there's many things, there's many factors that contribute to being trapped in a relationship. In my case, I was at the stage in my life where I thought, okay, I'm working, I'm independent. I think it's time for me to take the next natural step in my life, and that is to get married. And I started praying about it, and I put it before God, and I had my, my grocery list of what I wanted. And, so I prayed about it, and then I met somebody. And initially, obviously, because of the honeymoon phase, things were great. I mean, we were on the same page. We both went to the same, we were part of the same ministry, and we literally were on the same page, and our relationship started and it blossomed, and we had a game plan that, we would date for a few years, for 2 years, and then we would get married. That was the game plan. That was our strategy. So in the first year of our relationship, I'll say towards our first year anniversary, I got the opportunity of a lifetime to make a dream come true. I was so excited, when you've wanted something since you were young and you get the platform to pursue your dream, and I was so excited, and I'm there, I'm in it, but I didn't have any support from him. And it was very painful. And I would say that was probably the very first warning sign, when he would not support my dream. And it was interesting. It was very subtle. It wasn't direct, like, don't do it, stop, this is a bad idea. It was the undermining of the dream, the undermining of the opportunity, the undermining of this platform, and, not even trying to sort of see how much this meant to me, what this could do for my life, And he would criticize me. He would criticize the way I was dressed. He would criticize my makeup. He would criticize the way I was doing my hair. He literally had nothing good to say about anything that I did with regards to that. And it became a sore point in our relationship, to the point where I avoided talking about what I was doing as far as my dream was concerned. If I was doing something in line with it, I wouldn't even tell him. And if he found out that's what I was doing, he would be so mad. Like, it was, like when you're literally fighting over something so, so random, So I started to sort of say to myself, okay, you know what? Let me focus on achieving and accomplishing what I'm trying to do with my life. Let me focus on this dream. Let me pursue it. Let me push it, drive it. Because I know that when we get married in a year, this is not something that I was going to be able to do. And another warning sign that actually came through, that was not the only warning sign. There were many, different instances that make you go, you know. But for whatever reason, you're just like, but I love him. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're just trying to make it work, and etc. etc. So you stay. Another warning sign for me was he had a great reluctance to meet the people in my life. And when I say the people in my life, I'm talking about my friends, I'm talking about my family. He was very, very reluctant to meet them. And he was also very reluctant for me to meet his friends and his family. And I actually knew two of his friends by accident because we just happened to be in the same social setting on a regular basis. So it really was something that distressed me personally, because I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody, you should be able to meet their family, meet their friends. They should be able to meet your family and your friends. So that was also a very big problem for me. Then there were also instances where, as a woman, you can tell when something just ain't right. So I think in our going into our second year of the relationship, that's when, the gut and the instinct was kind of warning me that something's not right, but I couldn't put my finger on it because I didn't have the proof. So it was towards the second year, now towards the end of the second year, because remember, we had a game plan, we were getting married. Then I'm like, okay, dude, like, what's going on? When are you going to meet my family? When am I going to meet your family? When are we going to start the process, etc., etc.? And he started making excuses. He started making excuses for the most weird things, the most random things. Bearing in mind, I'm still pursuing my dreams. So on the one hand, he's in my ear trying to, crush that subtly. And on the other side, he's being very elusive and evasive. So I would say after our second anniversary was when I decided, you know what? Let me take a step back and really observe the situation, because you're planning to spend your life with this person. So you need to sort of have an idea of what you're getting into. And a lot of people do enter into, permanent situations with somebody and they don't really know the person, who they really are. So I started observing, this guy, and I started being very introspective and looking, within myself to see, okay, is this something that I really wanted to do? Is this the type of person that I want to spend my life with? Those were the questions I started to ask after our second year anniversary. And the more I was observant, the more I realized that no, this is actually really not what I want. And it was towards maybe our second, we were together for 2 years and about 6 months, when I decided that actually I don't want to be with this person anymore. But could I break up with him? No. It was literally impossible at that point in time to break up with somebody, because remember, we've been together for 2 years, and if you've been in a relationship with someone, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, you get so comfortable with them that, because he was very controlling, and he was emotionally controlling, he was almost like psychologically controlling. So he would say things, he would make comments, he would try and almost break my confidence almost. And like, he worked on my psyche, basically. He worked on me, for lack of a better term. So he was in my mind, in my head. And the thing is, whenever I tried to break up with him, he'd be very intense and on me, and holding on and holding on and holding on. And it got to the point where I literally had to do something drastic. Something drastic had to take place for me to get out of that relationship. Remember, I'd spent the first 6 months of our third year, of the relationship together, doing some introspection, looking within myself, looking at the relationship, observing him, and seeing, okay, where does he stand? What are his values? Who is this person? Who is he really? And it took a lot, I would say, from that point in time. I think it took us maybe another 6 months to finally break up. And it took something drastic. It took something dramatic. It literally took me finding out the ultimate betrayal for me to be like, to have the strength and the courage to finally say, I am done. Because when you're in a relationship with somebody, they also become almost like a crutch for you. They become comfortable. They become that blankie. They become the the tracksuit, sweatsuit that you wear, that old, it's torn, it's got fraying at the ridges that you wear in the comfort of your home. They become that for you. So it wasn't as easy for me as I thought breaking up with him was going to be, because this guy was my friend. So I was also going to lose a friend. I was going to lose a confidant. So I was going to lose quite a bit, but the price was too high to pay for me to stay in that relationship. I was really trapped. I couldn't get out. I couldn't, for lack of a better term. So maybe you're in a similar situation. Maybe you can see the alarm bells, ladies. We know the alarm bells. We know the things that make us go, something's not right, We can tell that we're not happy. We can tell that we're miserable. We're making excuses for this person with our family and our friends. And if you find yourself making excuses for somebody, something ain't right with that. If you're always having to fight and defend this guy, then something's not right with that, Why should you always be the one to always be explaining that, no, the reason why he does this is because he's like that and like that and like that? He's a grown man. Let him take responsibility for his misbehavior. Let him take responsibility for mistreating you. Why are we staying in these relationships? It takes guts. It takes courage. It's hard. It's super, super hard. But let me tell you something. You are so much stronger than you really think you are. You need to give yourself some credit. Because if you are strong enough to put up with somebody who's always trying to bring you down, with somebody who doesn't treat you the way you should be treated, with somebody who refuses to show up and stand up and be a man for you, then you're strong enough to walk away from that person. So that's it. I didn't mean to get all preachy. I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say. I'm so excited. So that's it for me. Bye.